All right, welcome back to another video, guys. I have a really exciting videos for you guys, and today we'll be comparing the Chihiros WRGB 60 Slim versus the Chihiros RGB Vivid 10th edition Aquarium lights. So this is an interesting video because obviously I've had this light for over 3 years now, I believe. And yesterday I just made the change to switch over to this light. And honestly, guys, these lights don't compare, in my opinion. There are pros and cons, obviously, with these lights, and I'll kind of go over them today. And basically, the first, I guess, let's talk about the pros about the WRGB Slim first. Okay. So I guess the pros about this light is that it's very slim, just like a very slim, minimalistic look. It's a very good quality build. Like it's almost like metal. And I really like that. And obviously, I guess the pros of this light in comparison to this light, it does come with the brackets. So you can actually put your aquarium light like this on your aquarium, right? So you don't need the hanging kit. It does come with these over here. I had mine hanging on my aquarium. So these are for the hanging kit. You put this basically, and then you basically attach the string to these poles over here. So these poles will go in the back of your aquarium. I personally like the hanging kit just because when you are putting, let's say this with the light, it is very close to the plants. And what happens over time is if you're leaving your aquarium light for 6 hours, you will get nasty algae. And compared to if you were to hang your aquarium, you won't get as much algae because the light is a little bit higher, which mean less intensity for your plants. Does that affect plant growth? No, I've had beautiful plant growth with the WRGB 60, and honestly, Chihiros is the way. Like I love Chihiros just because you're able to control the light with the app. You can set timers. You can mimic the sunset. You can mimic the sunrise. And I do believe this is probably one of the best aquarium light in the game. I've had the Twin Star light before. I didn't really like it, to be honest. I've had these cheap lights from like Amazon, like the ones with like blue, red, and green. I've used fluval lights before as well. Don't really like them, to be honest. They don't really give you that pop and that saturation in your tank. But I've had, again, this light for over 3 years now, and honestly, it's still a really good light. I'd be using it, but when I converted to this light, so I got this light yesterday off Facebook Marketplace, and the guy said that it was basically brand new, and as you guys can see, it is in top tier quality. And we'll just talk about the pros about this light now. And obviously, there's a fan on this light in comparison to this light. And the reason why is because one of the pros about RGB is that you're getting more intensity from this light. That's why it's called the RGB Vivid. And this was their 10th edition. So this light is discontinued. They don't do this light anymore. But basically, the pros about this light is that it's actually smaller than this light, like in terms of length, but it's wider. This light is a tiny bit more wide, which obviously, like, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, more length means more coverage in the tank technically. But if it's wider and it's more concentrated in terms of intensity, you're getting actual better lighting in your tank. So that's kind of the pros about this light alone, is you're getting better saturation, especially if you have a very heavy planted tank. Your plants are going to be looking super lively. I can't even explain. Like yesterday, I was showing Tyler. I was like, "Yo, Tyler, like, look at this," and this light goes up to 130 watts. And compared to this light, this one only the maximum is 50 watts. So you're almost getting double the intensity with this light. And this is why, again, you have the fan. Now, if you go down to the cons about this light, if I take it out of the box here, okay, let's just do this like this. So the cons is the fan, okay? The fan is definitely number one. Every time you turn it on, it will make a little bit of a sound compared to obviously this one. This has no fans. So that is kind of one of the cons. It's not very loud, but you can hear the fan. I will say though, one of the pros though is that at least the light does not get warm. The light does stay pretty cool, unless maybe you're running it for 8 hours and we haven't tested it yet. And compared to this light does get really, really hot. If you're running it for 4 to 5 hours, it does. You can touch it. It's hot. Again, doesn't. I don't think it really affects anything really, to be honest. But yeah, this is definitely one of the cons. The other cons is you can't have these brackets on this fan. It doesn't allow for you to have it directly just on top of your aquarium. So you're gonna have to get the aquarium light kit from Chihiros, or if there's cheaper one, I've seen on Alibaba, they sell some, Temu sells some, but it's cheap. But this is probably the best of the best. I was lucky. I actually got these with the light that the guy was selling for this light. So I didn't have to buy the kit, but I already have the kit. And I have it in black. He gave it in silver gray. So I have the kit already all set up. So I just had to unscrew my old light and then just mount the new light. The other con with this is that if you don't know what you're doing and you're just blasting this light 24/7, you will be getting major algae. I do believe with a light this powerful, algae could be an issue. So if you are a beginner, wouldn't really recommend, but if you're going to be making that investment, long term, it is a really, really good investment. I personally wish I would have invested in a light like this before, but to be honest, that's the con about pricing. When it comes to pricing, this light costs about, I believe, $267 just the light. And this light, on different website, I've seen it go for $650 to $729.99. I do believe it's because it is the 10th edition and it's discontinued. This light goes a little bit higher, but also you get double the power. So it would make sense if this light is already $267, double that price would be around $500 $600 with tax. So that is a big con. The con of with this light is that you are paying for that quality product, and compared to this is about in that it's still expensive though. For a light, that is pretty expensive. I do remember when I first bought it, it did hurt the wallet just because I was still new to the hobby, and as a beginner you don't really want to spend that type of money. But I've had this light for literally 3 years and I can't complain. Like I would still be using it if it wasn't for this amazing deal. So luckily, I got this light for $200 on Facebook Marketplace, brand new, never used, everything in the box. Came with the aquarium kit, which the aquarium kit alone, just 2 poles, this is $117. And the guy gave it for me for $200. And as you guys saw in my room, you're probably wondering, well, what was that other light in Europe? Well, lucky me, I got two of them. So I got two of the Chihiros RGB Vivid for $200 each. So I paid $400 in total. But again, if you add the cost together, this together is almost $1,200. Plus, the guy was nice enough to give me the shades that comes with the light. So I have the 10th edition Chihiros shades. So the shades are nice just because these lights are very, very bright and can be very hard on the eyes. So I have the shade on this side and then I have the shade on that side. And the shades do cost $53. You can get the shades for this light as well, the WRGB Slim, but I never just like wanted to, buy the shades because I didn't find the light that crazy bright. But for this, it is nice to have the shades just because it's so bright on the eyes. So yeah, so luckily I got these lights for cheap, and bless your soul, whoever sold me this kit and this light. And the matter of fact, he was selling it because he had axolotl, and axolotls don't like light. And I think he's kind of tearing down his tank, and at this point he just wanted to get rid of everything. So I will put this light on in my tank so you guys can see how bright it is. Unfortunately, I did took off all of the kit yesterday from this light, so I won't be putting this on, but you guys can see in previous videos on my YouTube channel, usually when I shoot YouTube videos, I do have the light at 100%, just because it's better lighting. But you guys can kind of see just based on the other videos how kind of bright and the intensity of this light was. But I will go on the app here right now and basically show you guys how insanely bright this is. So keep in mind my window, this is open right now, so it looks different at nighttime. Obviously it looks a lot more brighter at night, but I will turn on. So basically there is an app that you guys can go on. You click on the app and basically you'll have custom, auto, and manual. And auto basically means like it's automation, so you can have it like, hey, I want the light to go on at 5 a.m. and close at 8 a.m. or something like that, right? Manual is you have to actually, like, you can play around with the red, the green, and the blue, and you can actually play around with also the kelvins and just the intensity of the light as well. I did notice with this light, sometimes there is a little bit of a delay. So now it's at 15% and you guys can see it is turning on. But what I'll do here, I will put the light at 40%, and 40% is approximately what I would be getting on my other light. So you guys can kind of get a feel of what that looks like. So I'll put everything at 40% here. Okay, and I'm saying 40% just because 40% gives me, okay, so for example, we'll do this. This is 40%, 40%, and 25% blue. And this is giving me 50 watts. So this is technically what I would be getting from my other light. And keep in mind, this is not even at 100%. So I will put it at 100% so you guys can see. So this is 100%. Look how bright this is. Like, what are we even talking about? This is so bright. Like, it is insane. And as you guys can see with the shades, you don't even see the light. So this is what would be nice, especially when I'm recording videos. You guys won't see like the light. But I'll turn it to my favorite setting. This is my favorite setting, and you guys can see just like how vivid the colors are of my red tiger lotus. The greens are popping. Like, let's say I put the greens on. Look at that. Like, look how popping the greens are. I'll put it to shrimp. Shrimp mode is a really nice setting as well, but it is just crazy how bright this light is. And I've seen a lot of aquascapers. So my tank is 35.6-inch length, 22-inch height, and 22-inch depth. And this light is meant for tanks that are 60 to 90 centimeters. So it is meant for a tank like this. But I have seen people say, for example, in this corner, there's a little bit of shade. And there are some people in the hobby that if they are growing a carpet, this would be a con, basically, just because it's very shady. But it could be the shade from just this Anubias. This Anubias is 20-inch height. But a lot of people will put two of these lights. So they'll have like one set of the light and put another aquarium stand kit, and then they'll have another. So they'll have two of them. I personally don't like that. I think you're using a lot of energy and electricity. And how annoying would it be if you had, two fans running at a time? I think that would be kind of annoying. Like I can hear the fan right now. I'll put my mic actually towards the fan. You guys probably can hear it. But again, it's kind of like one of those noise where like, even like, for example, a canister filter, you'll always hear kind of the humming on a canister filter. So I don't mind it. And usually when I have my lights on, I'm not even at home. But this is insane. Like I was telling Tyler yesterday, because at first what we were going to do is we're going to set up this light over here on the new tank for the 60U, and which will be beautiful, by the way. On a 60U, this will be absolutely gorgeous. So we were going to set this on a 60U, and I told Tyler, well, since we bought another one, we should just sell it and like basically we'll make our money back plus profit. But then I put it on my tank just to test it out and see the difference. And immediately I said to him, I'm buying this. There is no way I'm giving away a light of this quality away. And so yeah, this is kind of the new light for Roblox. And as you guys will know, John Pork Jr. will be coming home soon, about maybe in a week or two now. And basically, this will be nice for content just because I can actually see the fish properly now, just because it is a lot brighter. He's just chilling right now, taking a little sleep. He's been good recently. He's been a good kid. So, and his lotus are thriving right now. They're getting bigger and bigger. So I feel like in a week or so, these should be probably 5 to 7 inch tall, I would say, probably by next week. And I've been dosing the lotus with just iron and a good all-in-one fertilizer. I believe I'm using the 2-hour Aquarius Apt E. That's the fertilizer I'm using. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching this video. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace.